I'm Selene Speaks and welcome back to my channel. Fat Joe recently made some disparaging remarks about foundational Black Americans, and honestly, it's not sitting well with a lot of people. We'll be talking about that more in just a moment, so stick around. This is a fair use video, and as usual, I will be providing my commentary. So let's get started. Fat Joe was recently featured as a guest on the Math Hoffa Podcast. While speaking, he made some controversial remarks about his thoughts on foundational Black Americans. Let's talk about why his remarks were not only disrespectful, but also ungrateful to the very community that helped him rise to fame. So let's take a quick look at the video and the comments that he had made.
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the these broke I'm just keeping it a buck. And then to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this run them? Like, your leader? Yo, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity-doop-wop.
His success in the rap game would have never been possible without the FBAs who had opened the doors and paved the way for him. It's no question that foundational Black Americans are the pioneers of rap and hip-hop culture. There's no doubt about it. Their creativity, their struggle, and their resilience paved the way for artists like him to thrive. So I think that Fat Joe should show gratitude and respect to the culture that helped him to thrive. We know that some people, unfortunately, think that the N-word is a term of endearment. It's not. It will never be. And with that said, for those of you who have siblings, do you recall ever getting into a disagreement with one of your siblings? I bet you did not let anybody hurt your sibling. If you even thought for 1 second that someone was going to do something to one of your siblings or bully them, you had their back, right? You're like, I might do it, but you're not going to do it. It's the same thing here. So when I heard Fat Joe on that podcast making that remark, referring to the FBAs as broke N-words, it's like, oh, no, hold on, run that back. But we know this man has been using that word for years in his dialogue and in his music. And unfortunately, it has gone on for so long that it's just like second nature for him to say it. And you know who I blame for this? Is these Black New Yorkers and Black New Jerseyans making excuses for him being weak enablers and never checking that. He's been saying that for so long that he's never had a moment to stop and think like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, because he's surrounded by enablers. And to go a little bit further with this, when he referred to the FBAs as a hate group, that's wrong. The FBAs are a lineage of Black Americans who were descendants of slaves. You are making a direct personal attack on the lineage of Black Americans. And to be honest, what I think all of this is about is that Fat Joe is still having that debate with himself about who originally created hip-hop. That's what it's about, because why else would you make such hateful remarks to the people who have supported you for so long? Eventually, you're going to have to stop using the N-word. And if you go into some other areas of the country, especially down south out there in all those places, and you use that word around some of those Southern Blacks, oh, they'll back you into a corner. The weak ones won't, but the real ones will turn around and look at you, and they'll be ready to confront you. So keep all of that in New York and New Jersey. And to be honest, I don't even think the backlash is going to affect Fat Joe until you hit him in his pockets. And it's not just him, it's that other rapper, whatever her name is. All of these non-Blacks who are using the N-word in their rap songs, you guys need to stop supporting them. That's just my personal opinion. Don't get upset when they go on podcasts and they're in movies and they're saying those things, but then you turn right around and buy their albums. What sense does that make? Stop supporting them and they'll stop using the word. And once they realize that they have a declining fan base who does not buy their albums, who does not show up at their shows, they have low ticket sales, they will rethink their conduct when they're dealing and talking about FBAs and the people who support them. One last thing is that I am so sick of these soft interviewers who are afraid to ask the hard questions. But if they're coming on your podcast, you have a right to ask certain questions, even if they're difficult. If you don't get an answer, then oh well. But the fact of the matter is, why bring someone on a podcast and just ask them softball questions? Confront the issues. Doesn't matter what podcast it is, ask the questions that we all want the answers to. So how do you all feel about the comments that Fat Joe had made? Do you feel that he was right? Do you feel like he stepped out of line? Let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for now. That's all I have to say about this Fat Joe situation. I hope you liked the video. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share my video with anyone else who may like this type of commentary. Until next time, thanks for watching.